Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an amazing day. I know I am. Today we're going over Kingdom Hearts. I have never played a Kingdom Hearts game. The most I know about Kingdom Hearts is a 30-minute video about 4 to 5 years ago of a guy explaining the lore. The main gist I got out of it, there's Final Fantasy characters, which, nice. There's also darkness and light. It's like a bunch of Jedi stuff. And there's Disney characters. Specifically, Mickey Mouse is goated, Donald Duck never heals, and Goofy, he's just goofy, man. With a new trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4, which, my goodness, man, it's been a long time since Kingdom Hearts 3. I get we are starved for content, but man, can they give us like a crumb, some more DLC? What's going on? And because we're waiting for Kingdom Hearts 4, I told myself, hey, why not play all the games? And so that's what today's video. I am currently going through all of the Kingdom Hearts games in chronological order, which I know some people are going to be in the comments, no, you should play this game first and this game first. No, dude, I want to get the full lore. I want to know these characters from the very beginning to the very end, the same way I did with Metal Gear. Specifically, main series games, no mobile games. I'm looking at you, whatever that weird Keystorm thing was. And thanks to the Steam Summer Sale, I got it for $40, so we're going to have a lot of fun. Booting up the game off the rip with the beautiful Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. I am currently doing Birth Before Sleep, and I gotta say, because this is my first Kingdom Hearts game, I'm not gonna, judge it too harshly, and we will be striving for the true ending. But like I said, I'm not gonna judge the game too harshly. It's my first Kingdom Hearts game. I'm gonna be very nice, respectful about it. I will get frustrated due to the fact that I'm trying to learn these button maps because I've not touched a controller since the PS4. Plus, I don't really play these types of games, but I did ask my brother what's it like. He's like, very similar to God of War. I don't trust him anymore after playing this. Now, booting up the game, we have 3 options for characters. Now, I did my research on Reddit, and apparently the best route is Terra, Ventus, and then Aqua. Yeah, I don't know why I spaced out there, but starting off the game, we get introduced to Mickey Mouse, and we get introduced to the game mechanics, how things work, how to use your commands and spells and whatnot. But beginning the game with Terra and fighting our good friend Aqua, figuring out who will be the Keyblade Master. Push comes to shove, it's Terra. It's Terra. It's definitely Terra. No, it's not. It's Aqua. All right, I'm a little upset, but at the same time, it's like he had darkness inside him. Darkness is bad. Darkness leads to no good. Tell that to Anakin Skywalker, man. What do we? But after the Master tells him, "Hey, darkness no good, man. We can't have that here. Go figure that shit out, man." We proceeds to take off to other worlds and fights Maleficent. If you don't know, most of the worlds are based on the stories and animated films of Disney. And all the worlds are based off the movies. You got the Land of Departure, Enchanted Domain, Castle of Dreams, Dwarf Woodland, Olympus Coliseum, so on and so forth. But Terra, upset that he still has darkness inside him, goes around trying to, oh man, I got this darkness, I don't know what to do. Runs into Maleficent, takes Aurora's light, and proceeds to just run away for the most part, because I don't think he gets that stuff back anyways. Like, what? But to be fair, he did get manipulated by Maleficent. But dude, it's light. You're a literal Keyblade warrior. Aren't you supposed to be protecting the light, not give it away to some evil witch? But even still, you give it away to an evil witch. Fight for that back. What are we doing? Now, the boss battle, I died 17 to 25 times to this boss battle. I did not know how the mechanics worked until 2 hours later. But looking back at the mechanics, I do have a lot of fun with primarily Ven. Also, I'm meant to add as well, I am going to interject the characters' timelines. So we have Terra in the Enchanted Domain, then we're going to follow up with the Woodlands. And as well, there's like an interlinked between the Woodlands and Ven's story within the Woodlands. It's very interesting. I don't know how to word this properly, but it's all connecting timelines. And also, I'm just going to name the princesses so it's a lot more easier. So we're off to Snow White's story, Dwarf Woodlands, and we're following Terra, talking to Maleficent, asking, hey, what's going on? I want to ask questions where Xehanort is. Do you know who Xehanort? Her, the evil queen and Snow White is asking Terra, hey, if you steal Snow White's heart, I'll tell you the answers. I will get the magic mirror to tell you your answer. And so he almost does. He goes to Snow White and says, hey, man, I got to steal your heart. She's like, oh my goodness, why? It's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, you're pure-hearted. So you know what? Never mind. I'm going to confront the evil queen. Confronts the evil queen. From there, the magic mirror sucks him into the portal after the evil queen threw a dangerous potion at him, and we have a little boss fight. It's super cool. You got to track the faces, which one's smiling. It is a bit long, a little grindy. I did died twice because I didn't know how to properly dodge and roll or use, most of my commands, which I figured out later on was triangle. And I'm using the Xbox controller settings on a PlayStation controller. Very confusing, I know. But catching up with Ven's storyline, he arrives to the Dwarf Woodlands as well, seeing the aftermath of Terra fighting the Queen, helping out Snow White, escorting her through the forest, which I despise these little escort missions. I truly do. It's very annoying. Now you can help them out by like countering and pressing X at the right time, but man, it was a slog. I did not like her or Cinderella. And there is also a little chase sequence where you have to find all seven dwarfs, which, hey, I truly get it. I really do. But man, if I would throw hands if these people were real, because how are you going to act so nasty and rude and like accuse me of stealing your diamonds? If I wanted your diamonds, I would have stolen some already. I'm trying to help y'all out. I just want to talk to you because I'm trying to get more information out of you. If I wanted to steal something, I would have been done it. Like what? And also, we do encounter the evil witch, which incites that then was the cause for Snow White eating the poisoned apple. And jeez, man, that's why I could never be a Keyblade warrior because you have to have so much trust into people to think, man, this woman, she looks really nice. No, dude, I'm gonna be like, hey, man, you dropped this apple. It's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna walk away now. Now you see this evil queen talking to a magical mirror about taking someone's heart. She looks nice. All right, cool, I'm gonna talk to her. You see this woman with horns on her head, green, with a magic wand. Yeah, she looks super nice and friendly. Nah, bro, I'm walking away and I'm throwing hands with you. But we make sure Snow White is returned safely to the Seven Dwarves, and for the most part, that's pretty much it for this world. Now, we do follow Ventus this time, going to the world of Cinderella. And our main objective here is to help Cinderella make her pink dress, just like in the movies, but eventually gets ruined by her two sisters and her evil mother. Now, you're probably asking, why am I fighting a cat? Because just like in the movies, you got to steal a pearl, I think. I haven't watched Cinderella in about, 10, 15 years? I truly don't know. But no, basically, you steal a pearl, the cat gets mad, you fight the cat, the mouse gets away, and boom, bada boom, get the pearl back, you survive somehow. And then from there, you make the pink dress, then it gets ruined by the two sisters and the evil mother. Terra shows up, tells her, hey, darkness happens. Don't let the darkness, control you. Always have a bright side to life. The fairy godmother shows up in here, says, hey, let's make you that blue dress just like in the movies with them glass slippers. And we head off to the ball. Now, there is an escort mission you do before you fight this boss. And I got to say, I'm super happy and grateful they only put 2 in this game and not 3 or 4 or how many more they're going to put in, because after 2, it does get tedious. It does get very time consuming. It does get a lot more boring. But man, this boss fight was super interesting. I will say, I didn't really struggle that much. I'm surprised myself, I know. Also, it was up until now where I realized I kind of played the worlds entirely wrong. You're supposed to go from like the lowest level to the highest level. I started from like the highest level, from like the Snow White for Terra all the way back to Cinderella, which was very interesting to say the least. Now we get into Aqua's storyline. I do like the fact that her main abilities are spells. They're all very focused on their own little attributes. Brute strength, mobility and spells. I despise Terra's moveset. I really do. He's very slow. I don't like it at all. Ven's first, Aqua second, Terra last. Like I said, I just don't like Terra at all. He's like a very much blank slate. And I would say the same for Aqua, but the difference is that her main melee attacks do suck a lot. You can barely do any damage. She relies heavily on magic and spells, but once you build like some decent spells and magic, after some grinding, which I had to do to get, better items, it was a lot better. It was a lot more fun. But after backtracking through the castle and the little forest, we head back to Cinderella's house and we have to confront her sisters and the mother, which, my goodness, I despise this woman. I thought we were getting ready to throw hands with this woman, but apparently not. But the fairy godmother's like, hey, we gotta help out Cinderella. She's locked in her room. We run into the mouse dude. She's like, hey, man, do you need help? What's going on? He's like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to get Cinderella out of her room. They locked her in there. I got the key. I need help. Let's get going. She helps out, gets, again, this is like the third escort mission, but at least it's a little bit more manageable since you're not grinding as much, you're not fighting as many enemies, and I kind of got used to mechanics since Aqua was my final playthrough of the game. And I gotta say, very fun to use her spells and just manipulate the entire situation, just cast them thunderbolts, fireballs, blizzards. Really fun overall. And the damage output, chef's kiss. But we get the key to the door for Cinderella. Now, canonically, she almost puts on the glass slipper, but gets stopped entirely since, it's Cinderella's duty. But after stalling for some time, Cinderella eventually gets out of her room and heads down the stairs. Now, I despise the mother because as Cinderella's sitting down about to put on the glass slipper, she trips the nice dude with the mustache, and it's like, oh, oops, that happened. Man, I wanted to throw hands with her at this very moment. I was so happy and anticipating. Oof, let's go, right? I feel like prime Mike Tyson ready to take on for Muhammad Ali. Like, I'm gonna get my get back, man. You're not gonna disrespect this dude and Cinderella. But no, we just fight a carriage instead. But the boss fight was pretty okay. I didn't have as many powerful spells as I wanted to. I was gonna grind for a little bit. I realized I am running low on time, so I wanted to get this video out as soon as I can. And I was like, you know what? Hey, if we die, we die. If we struggle, we struggle. But as long as we beat this boss fairly and legitimately, I grinded anyways because I was not wasting time. Also, I want to say this real quick. Playing through the entirety of Cinderella's world, I felt like I was getting CIA like tortured because every time it was just bibbity boppity boo. That entire song was playing. As I said previously, this is where the branching storylines intertwine, and we move on to Ven going to fight Maleficent, invading the castle, telling, "Hey man, where's Terra at? I want answers. What's going on?" Proceeds to throw the paws on her little goons and minions, the little bug creatures. I despise the archers because how do they do about 1/8 of my health, and I can just not do anything? It's very annoying. But now I'm just a bad player at the game. But no, I did die here, unfortunately, as you can see. But man, it's pretty interesting, his mechanics compared to Terra's. Now, compared to the two characters, Ven and Terra, I did play the entirety of Terra's storyline. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to spoil it now, but I did complete it, and that was my first time actually playing through the entire game. But Ven's combat is so much better. I will say Aqua was a bit tricky to get used to. After defeating her minions, we do move forward to fighting Maleficent. Now, it is cool that the three fairies get involved to sort of pause on Maleficent, which super dope. You get to use her own spell against her, the sleeping one that put Aurora to bed. But man, it's really cool just wailing on these Disney characters. That's the number one thing I do like about Kingdom Hearts is that you get to wail and beat up mercilessly on these Disney characters that you either despised or liked growing up. I do like some of the villains. At the same time, I despise others. Now, I wish you could fight some of the heroes, but I think that would kind of go against it. But later did I realize. After defeating Maleficent, we get intervened by Aqua saying, "Hey man, Ven, you should be going home. You should not be out in the world. This isn't right. Terra, he's okay. He's just going through a lot right now because he wasn't the Keyblade Master," which, understandable. I would be upset too if I was like a prodigal child and then proceed to get, ostracized because I used a little bit of negative energy. But once Aqua talks to Ven runs away, heads to the... Now we take the role of Aqua, helping out, try to figure out where the prince is, because in the original story, the prince is the one that takes down Maleficent. We find the prince, he's locked up in the dungeon, we rescue, get out of this little jailbreak sequence, trying to fight all the guards, open the gates, get out, and then we fight Maleficent. And I gotta say, this boss fight, it did trip me up a few times since I didn't know where to hit specifically, but I hit the lock-on button and I realized her head was the main target, so I just got up in the air, spam as many spells as I could. You can also do lock-on moves and special combos since the prince will like launch you up with his shield, and then you can attack Maleficent on her back as she's flying around the map. Pretty sweet, honestly. Really nice details like that where you can do tag teams with most of the characters. Some more than others, but a lot of the characters have like their own special unique abilities with each other, and it's really fun to play with. You'll see more in the video. Now, some of them are pretty weird and don't really do anything unless like the enemy's super close to them, but primarily it's also really fun to see other characters interact with you and like helping you do more damage, and for the most part gets you an easier time fighting these bosses. Now continue through the story. We follow Terra as he explores a mysterious tower. If you don't know, there's like a great wizard who casts spells and helps Mickey train, and we head to the Badlands to find Master Xehanort. It's just dialogue, nothing really important happens, but we do switch over to Ven, and we see him fight with the masked boy. So I don't know who this guy is. Apparently they're like talking about, oh, I know you, you know me, we're like one of the same or something like that. And like Master Xehanort's trying to like make him fight or something. I don't know. But all I know is Mickey pulls up with his Keyblade, pimped out. Like, look at this trip. Look at him. Immaculate. We also do like a tag team combo where we like spin in a circle.
Money around. Here, I'll show ya.
We both will.
Huh?
Also, I saw his Keyblade and I was thinking to myself, is it possible to get his Keyblade in the game? Come to find out, I don't think you can unless you have to do like some certain requirements. But boss fight, super fun. I like the little tag team thing. I don't like the moves that he does where you both spin in a circle. Super lame. I thought it would be something more cool, but I proceeded to die 4 times fighting this boss. Now we move forward to Radiant Garden. Ven, being the first one to arrive, gets talked to by Scrooge McDuck after what seems to be a robot head. Now he gives us 2 passes to Disney Town, and I gotta say, I really don't like that area. Oh, I digress. Getting harassed by a robot, then intervenes, helping out Scrooge because, hey, that's a good person, man. Getting rid of the robot head, Scrooge thanks him by giving him 3 passes to Disney Town, which will be important later in the game. Now, Aqua and Terra also interact with the robot's parts as well, being a pair of legs and a pair of arms, which you can already tell is going to be a lead up to a boss fight with all 3 of them. And also, Scrooge McDuck is aware of the fact that Keyblades exist in other worlds, so potentially you may get to see him in the future. I really hope so because, hey, we can probably get loads of money if we do like some weird adventure quest. Also, all 3 characters run into the wizard from Fantasia, if not the not so spooky sorcerer. Also, getting to read the Winnie the Pooh book, which is also a nice little detail. I had to censor this part because, Chinese viewer base, alright? Also, Terra has nothing really important going on in the first half of this world. It's later turning to Aqua. We see her exploring this massive castle and seeing a little girl in trouble, and we're, helping her out, being a protective Keyblade warrior, noticing, like, oh my goodness, there's like a lot of them. Mickey Mouse interjects the goat, helps us out taking down the enemies. Now, the little girl runs away, gets saved by her grandmother, and they tell a story. Aqua also noticing that she has light, so I'm assuming she's going to be important later in the story, if not later in the future games of the timeline.
I just cast a magic spell on you. One day when you're in trouble, the light within you will lead you to the light of another. Someone to keep you safe.
Thanks!
There you are. It's time to go.
Okay. Oh. Bye! Hey, Grandma?
Hmm? What is it?
Could you tell me that story?
Again, dear?
Also, I think that the story the grandmother is talking about is the Keyblade War. I might be wrong, but hey, let me know in the comments down below. But moving forward, Aqua, Terra, and Ven meet up to fight the 3 robot pieces, coming together to become a massive robot. You take down each of their parts separately. I struggled about 10 times until I realized you had to take down the legs, the arms. Hey, if you actually read the information, pretty simple to beat this boss, man. Once completing the boss battle, we run into Terra and Aqua, talk to them about, hey, I got passes for Disney Town. Apparently it's 2 adults and 1 child, which is very sweet for the entire dynamic of this friend group because, it's one big happy family. Now we move on to Aqua's story as she's completing up the entire Radiant Garden, runs into the masked boy.
What do you mean?
I'll be asking the questions. And why shouldn't I? After all, between the 2 of us, I'm the only one who will walk away from here alive.
Yes, again!
Her and the masked boy fight. The masked boy defeated, runs away, going to a different world, clouded in
Who
darkness.
are you?
Not bad at all. Congratulations. I'll keep you around.
Aqua following close behind, exploring more of these other worlds. Then left behind, kind of upset and sad about Aqua leaving and Terra doing their own thing. As we follow Terra's story, Terra's entire arc in this section of Radiant Garden is to find Master Xehanort. Now you're probably asking, Master Xehanort looks pretty evil. I would think so too, because Master Xehanort ends up getting captured. Mind you, this is the #1 Keyblade Master, the Master of Masters, right? Now, I don't know how he gets captured. I'm guessing this is an entire ploy set up by this dude, the Archer dude. And I gotta say, this boss battle took me about 35 times to beat. For the sole fact is, I didn't realize yet you can counter at all or reflect his magical beams. I thought you had to get lucky and just spot dodge and roll. That's another thing. I didn't know you had to stop completely with movement wise and then hit the block button. Master Xehanort giving him the Darth Sidious speech about, darkness. It ain't all that bad, man. Being a little bit evil isn't all that bad. As long as you, use that power, sparingly and use it for, good, you'll be all right, man. Using, force lightning is pretty awesome. as long as you're not totally evil.
He is so afraid of darkness that he too has succumbed. Not to darkness, but to light. It shines so bright, he forgets that light begets darkness. And Aqua and Ventus, their lights shine too bright. It is only natural that they cast shadows on your heart. Eraqus is such a fool. Light and darkness, they are a balance, one that must always be maintained. See more worlds. Seek out the darkness that upsets the balance. Find Vanitas and bring an end to him. Master Terra.
After that villain monologue speech, I'm pretty sure that Master Xehanort's a villain. There's no denying it. Bald people in these Disney shows or TV movies, whatever you want to call them, they're extreme villains. He's clearly a villain. He's trying to find Vanitas, which I think is the masked boy that both Aqua, Terra, and Ven are fighting currently. But Ven, catching up with Terra after encountering Master Xehanort, is like, hey man, I gotta go, I gotta take off, I'm sorry man. Ven a little bit upset and wanted to make, more friends because, hey, his other two friends are doing their own thing, they have their own missions, which, I understand that. It's very upsetting. But Ven encounters two other people. Now, I'm assuming these guys are going to be important for the future as well, since they have dyed hair. We're using anime logic, okay? One of them is named Ira, the other one name is Issa, which I wonder if he's related to Issa from the back cover for the Kingdom Hearts, 1 hour movie. If so, pretty cool. If not, I tried, alright. I tried guessing characters. Following Terra going to Disney Town, we run into this mysterious figure called Captain Dark. He's just Pete, and then he switches over to Captain Justice, spoilers and all that. But primarily this entire area just revolves us racing against Captain Dark, aka Pete. We also do a fruit minigame with Terra and Aqua, as well as an ice cream minigame with the three ducks from, DuckTales. I despise this level immediately. I dislike it so much because I understand, you gotta do those weird music sync ups where you gotta press the button at the right time. I didn't know how many points you need to get. Aside from this racing minigame, now you can come back here and race multiple times to get different awards and even keyblades, which, I didn't do that. I didn't figure that out until much later when I did research for this video, trying to see what other information I was missing. But that's pretty much it for Terra in this world. Now we move over to Ventus. But this time we follow Ventus going off to Disney Town. Now, like I said, nothing really remarkable. Like I said previously, his main objective here is doing the ice cream minigame and encountering Captain Justice. Same with Aqua, but mainly her thing is just doing the fruit minigame, and that's pretty much it. As we follow Ventus in my favorite part of the game, we go to Olympus Coliseum, having to meet my two favorite characters, being Hercules and Hades. Now, there is a third character, but I'm not going to spoil it just yet. But our main mission here is to fight these random little darkness creatures, and bada bing, bada boom, you move on to seeing who is a true hero. Hercules and this masked warrior fight each other. Now, I'm wondering who's going to win because we got to go fight these evil creatures and monsters. Now, the main priority is just waiting for backup to arrive, that being Hercules first and the masked warrior second, which, come to find out, it's Zack from Final Fantasy VII, one of the greatest characters of all time. I will say top 20. I'm not going to give it too high, but I will say top 20 video game characters for me personally. Now, we follow Terra, following shortly behind, catching up with Hades. Hades convincing him, hey man, darkness, yada yada, spitballing him.
Lord of the dead, god of the underworld, yada yada, how you doing? Hey, let me guess, you're trying to put the kibosh on the darkness inside you. Am I right? Of course I'm right. Well, anyway, bad idea.
Wait, what?
Okay, stay with me. Darkness is inside everybody. Nothing to be ashamed of. You play nice with it, and darkness will be your best friend. But if you go and get all self-conscious and refuse to face it, the darkness will run over you like a debutante at a toga sale.
Fast talking him, try to be like, hey man, just sign the contract, big boy. We can get this done. We can harness that power of darkness. But Hades, wanting to ensure that Terra is fully equipped to handle the darkness and is fully under his control, tells him, hey, run this gauntlet and you'll be able to understand the power of darkness. I'll be able to help you out with the darkness. just take my offer, we'll be good and set in stone. Now, there is 9 rounds with this entire gauntlet, is basically taking down as many enemies as you can within a set amount of time, which does kind of suck because it took me a few attempts to fully utilize my entire toolkit, but helped me a lot since I can manipulate spells, I can target enemies. For this area specifically, it really helped me fully utilize my quick time events, my little spells, my commands, just overall everything so I can be fully equipped to fight later bosses, because me just kind of taking my time button mashing and then slowly like popping commands was not working. Come to find out later on that Zack gets manipulated and turned into a Darkness Warrior controlled by Hades, which does suck because, man, what happened, man? I thought we were besties. I thought you were away from that. But no, he gets mind controlled and manipulated by Hades. They have a little boss battle. But after defeating Zack and getting rid of Hades' mind control, we move on to the next world. Now that includes Aqua joining the world of Olympus and most importantly, running into Zack. Now they have a brief interaction. Hades comes in and it's like, hey man, I just fought you guys earlier. What's going on? Zack's like, hey, this guy's evil, yada, yada, yada. And then we do another gauntlet run. But this time we end off with a boss battle between Hades and one of the giants, or titans, sorry. Now this one is the Ice Titan, but I'm not entirely sure if we're going to fight more of them in the later games or in the later timelines. But I really hope we do and not just stick with, the Hades and Ice one. I want to fight the Fire one, the Rock one, so on and so forth. But once we're done defeating Hades and the Ice Elemental Titan, we continue forth, and Zack hits on Aqua saying, hey, we should go on a date sometime. Aqua, clearly flustered because it's like, well, maybe not. But I guess it's just funny if you're a Final Fantasy fan. If you're not, well, Zack ends up dating Aerith. I also find this scenario quite funny since imagine like, oh yeah, I went to this other world when I was like a kid and I tried to date this blue-haired girl. She was pretty cute, but I guess, if you were to tell Aerith, she couldn't stomach it. Now we follow Aqua onto my least favorite world, which is Deep Space. I don't like this one specifically for Aqua's missions, was you have to drive around the aircraft and defeat a ground teleporter to move on to the next section. It took about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now, I think you can defeat it faster. It was just very long and tedious. Plus, you do little to no damage against them, which, like I said, I'm not holding the entire level at fault. It's just this area specifically. Running to Captain Gantu and the Grand Councilwoman, they tell us, hey, we have Stitch on board, help us capture this alien. We'll get out of your hair. All right, thank you, appreciate it. It's just like the original story, you can already tell what's going to happen. We end up catching up with Stitch. He turns out to be a decent being, a decent little creature, or Experiment 626 if you want to get specific. He's really cool. Gantu is like, nah man, we got to get rid of this thing, gotta exterminate it, capture it, do all sorts of testing on it, get rid of it, banish it. So we actually get to fight him this time, which is really cool because I always wanted to do that because, man, he was cool in the movie, but damn, this motherfucker does not listen. It took everything in me not to just like constantly use Thunder and Thunder Surge. We kept throwing Stitch at him to do more bonus damage, but once we defeat him, we move on to, I forgot to put Terra Eclipse in here, but primarily you free both 626 or Stitch and the scientist. They escape, they get out of there. Most importantly, that Stitch sees like the little star-shaped fruit jewel, and that's like, all right, cool, I want it, steals it, and then Terra talks to him saying, hey man, it's about friendship, he wants to make friends. In the movies, the scientist is like, no, he's a natural killing machine, he would destroy everything, as he should, but no, he wants like companionship, he wants a family, he wants free will. Then you end the section off as Terra fighting against an electrical version of Stitch that the scientist makes because he wants, destruction. Then stumbles upon him, realizes that, oh wait, he's holding, the star-shaped icon that Aqua made for Terra and him. So it's like, all right, cool. They're like bonding, talking about it. And Gantu's like, hey man, no trespassers. This is the 3rd time, so we're gonna wrap this up. We're looking for this Experiment 626. So if you find him and you, we're gonna escort you, we're gonna exile you, we're gonna put you back into your cells where you should be, not just roaming around on the ship. But Stitch getting out of his hiding place sees Gantu. Gantu shoots at him, breaking the star-shaped bracelet. Which, damn, Gantu, why can't we just be nice, man? Stitch looks so sad here. I'm like, dude, like, I wish Van gave him a hug because, man, that's like incredibly sad, but no. Engine malfunction happening, and so we had to go investigate it. We take down this weird tentacle boss. I thought this was Mega Darkrai or Ghost Freak from Ben 10. If you know, you know. Off to the final world for the main game. It is Neverland. Getting woken up by Tinkerbell, Peter Pan, and the 2 animal dude creatures. I don't know what their names are. But waking up, getting kicked in the face by Tinkerbell, we are introduced to Peter Pan saying, "Hey man, what's going on? We're trying to figure out where this treasure is."